Hey everybody, this is David, and this is the weekly homework overview for week 7. This week is going to be really easy. I'm putting up a lot of these assignments. The assignments this week are going up really late, so I'm going to take it really easy as far as what I'm requiring from you. You've got your video lectures that'll take you to, of course, YouTube. You're used to seeing this, and there's 3 on historical narratives continued. There you go. And then I only have a couple of questions from the videos, and here's a part I do want to explain though, is I want you to practice what you learn on the book of Esther. So before you do the assignment, read through Esther once, and hopefully this will make a lot more sense after you've watched the lectures. But here's a couple questions I think need clarification. For example, I ask you to summarize the major events in Esther, and that is basically tell me in really quickly the major plot events within that narrative. And then the reason I'm having a hard time communicating here is because there are 2 what I described as climactic events in Esther, and I want you to kind of compare those 2 climactic events and tell me what's similar between them. When you go through the video lectures, I'll explain that in a historical genre or historical narrative, what the author does is he selects from a bunch of different historical events and he puts them into one narrative, and our goal is to see the common thread between all the events that are in that narrative. Now, I didn't want to assign to you to read a book like Acts, which is 28 chapters, and it'll take you forever to do something like that. So I chose a smaller book like Esther. The problem is that you have a lot less events to work with to see the common thread between the events. You only really have 2. So and there's only 2 climactic events to work from. Anyway, so I want to make sure you understand that there's not a lot to work with. So make sure you're working with the right components. There's a lot of stuff that happens in Esther, but there's only 2 climactic events, and what I'm asking from is from those 2 major events to try and figure out why the author chose to include those 2, what it is they have in common, what's the theme between those. Because as I suggest in the video lectures, whatever is in common between those 2 is really how the theme that the author is trying to present to you as the reader. So I ask you in the first question to summarize all the major events, and afterwards is you've got the 2 climactic or the 2 really important events that really tell the story that the author wants to tell, and I want you to figure out the common elements between them. What are the themes? What are the ideas that those 2 events have in common? And then finally, once you figure out what those 2 events have in common, I want you to try and describe to me what you think the author's point is in the entire story. What's he trying to convince you of? What kind of pictures is he trying to paint? That sort of a thing. So really, you only have 3 questions as far as interpretation goes. Only 2 questions as far as lectures. There's only 3 video lectures, so I think it'll be an easy week. And again, I apologize for having this up so late. It's already Monday afternoon. But anyway, I'm trying to make it up to you by not assigning too much. Alright guys, good luck.